What's going on, YouTube? Back. I said I was gonna, be learning with y'all through the way, but right now I wanna, like I said in the beginning, I wanna bring out these topics out and why I'm doing what I'm doing. Now, the latest hot topic supposed to be that this gentleman went and faked an entire 20 Christians versus one Muslim. And obviously, the two kids that actually were kind of the only two that you could see in their face that they were confused about the entire situation were actually on David's page. And Jay and Doc and got Logics. I don't believe if Sam made a video on it yet. But deception, and to me that's just you can't throw. I love this is what, and I know that this was Sam didn't come up with it, but don't throw stones if you live in a glass house, right? And we can actually see that that's what happened to our ancestors, my ancestors, the Garifano, the Afro-Garifanos, it was 10 million people that was here, and it was flattened, and there wasn't many. But, even now, not too long ago, it's just another proof that there were by lier. It's a new, I believe it's a new, technology. Apologize about that. It's a new technology that they have come up with, that they have actually found homes, highways in Guatemala. But yeah, when I talk about my Garifano Afro people, is that is how they tried to erase that we already was thriving in New York, Washington, New Orleans. Then you had the other tribes in New Mexico, Utah, Mississippi, and it's so much, that you have to actually come up with, that you have to look into. And, in a way, it is a blessing that technology is this way, but it also, like, everything has its good. Like, I remember back in the day, it was, for people to be like, or even today you hear it, and I need to, that's why I'm learning to better talk and explain myself in situations, because it was easier back then to make up a lie. Whoever held the money, whoever has the power, whoever has the money, can put whatever they want to say. There was I remember watching this clip from Saturday Night Live, and it's about Pocahontas, and how she's 12 and Christopher Colon wants to marry her, and he's, we got the big chiefs in there, and he's like the pale people, and, again, and this is why there was no racism during my Indonesia's people, because every tribe there was skin tone, it wasn't so much that. So that, and the reason why I bring that up is because they bring it up, and I guess like they kind of make it fun, because like the Chiefs is white, and he's showing it like how you had Chiefs that look like him, but anyway, that's what I was trying to get at. That's the reason why there was no racism back then. There was no white, black, Hispanic, Latino, Mexican, there was no such a thing as that, like all these man laws were made, and the things that you were supposed to follow, like don't hurt people, don't hurt others, don't kill people, This was already, I mean, if you're moral, I don't think those things has to be taught. You know what I'm saying? Hurting someone else, it should be just in your heart, you know. But if you need to be taught, if you need to be teach that, not to hurt others, not to lie on other people, I think there's a problem there. So, and that's what brings me to that. Here's this gentleman making up all these excuses, making up all these lies, exceptions on how he went down south and, debated this high class, smart, and I'm not saying that I'm saying that none of them are smart. I'm not saying that these people are dumb or anything like that. So don't take my words for and trying to make him say I'm saying. What I'm saying, like, he made it seem like that, like people knowledgeable on the situation, saying that those kids was so smart, saying that they're young. I believe he looks like he's 17. He got a smirk the whole time. He's asking him questions, and he doesn't understand anything. So he's bringing up people that you can obviously tell, from the beginning that they don't know. Maybe the first guy, because I watched the video, and it was hard to watch. It was really hard because it just keeps bringing you to the thing where, like, how come and again, take my words, try to twist them. You can historically point out that there was this amount of Jews that were killed, that this was this amount of people that was killed. But when it comes to my ancestors and everything like that, we can't have a number on it. At one point it was 10 million and there was nobody, and it was barely anybody was pushed out and everything like that. Then he was actually, that was debunked, and it was proven that it was about 100 million people, and that 50 million were killed, died. When you look it up, they will say that they will die. And then when you actually start arguing with Google, like, why do you use, because this is one thing, like, they use these words, and that's why I'm trying to get my knowledge way up, because they use this word to lie, like it said they die. No, they were killed, raped, and everything like that. They started saying that they practice at a young age marriage. That's another lie. And I'm gonna keep, and this is what I think, and I remember when I was younger, like, everything always come back to religion, to Christianity, to Orthodox, to Catholics, to people like that. The way they always comes back to this great spirit, and to me it wasn't hard in the beginning. Of course, when you're younger and you read texts, but even then, when you read it, it's really not that hard that you can, and like, that's why I said this video, I'm gonna name it My Opinion, okay? Because this one is more about my opinion. If you read the Quran says they used a black mud, so the first creation was a black man. Now I know that if you try to say that, you don't know what you're talking about, because that's not what it says, and blah 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 blah. But the last time I checked, or maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but mud doesn't come this color. And that's why I hate the division that we have in generation. Because my kids are white. My wife is white, and I love them. I have a lot of white friends. I have a lot of Spanish friends. I have I had kids, and I actually kind of separated myself from those things. From friends that were single and partying and meeting with girls. And do I condemn them? No. Do I judge them? No. Because again, everybody's journey has to be their journey. You can never know what people walk through. Like I remember when I first started, you to really find out about documentaries and stuff like that or anything, you really had to watch, you had to watch TV, you had to watch certain things. And I remember back in the day when I watched this channel of they used to tell you about stories on, and I actually did a lot of digging on this because it took my mind out. Because it kind of got me intrigued. It took my mind out. Bro, you'll hear me say some things sometimes where you would just be like, yo, this is big. And it's big, bro. Straight up. But yeah, they talking about this population on how they took a bunch of Chinese kids and they brought them to the United States. See, I won't even water it down. They bought them. They were sending them here. And there were some that were unstable. So they just gave them to the system. Let's break it down to a little bit. Let's just break it down to how in the hood we will talk about it, bro. They brought some Chinese people from this country, from China and Japan, from the people that died when they were bombing everything. They were brought here, and they took the ones that were good, the ones that were bad. You know what I'm saying? They just gave them to the system. At 18 years old, they were sent out on their way. You know what they used to call orphans? Or between orphan kids. And this is because I met few. I had two friends actually. One name was Rich, and another, two friends was rich. One was Jewish, one was black. And he tells me he told me a story about how he told us his story. He was older. He was he probably like 80 now. He's about 80 years old, probably a little bit older, because he was older than us at the time. And he tells me how at 18 he was smart. He had a little spot where he lived. He had some things. He was able to speak, I believe, 2 languages, Brazilian and something else. And black dude, green eyes, bro, anyway. So he tells me how he was an orphan, and he told us he was an orphan, and at 18 years old, pretty much, they gave him a bag, and here you go. Have a nice day. You aged out. That's what they called it. You aged out at 18 years old. So they will claim that they didn't send you out of the streets, but yes, you stay in the system. You become a system kid. Now, once you become 18, you don't, they just send you where a shelter. You can find shelters or help you get going. So I'm saying this to say this, everybody's journey is so hard that you don't listen. That is, it's to me, when you're people, even when I, to myself, when I was digging up to see how many of my ancestors were killed, and trust me, I will get back to those 2 kids, because, even that dude, what he did, that was low. If you have to lie and explain about your religion and make it so it can look good, I mean, I can go with the video that I watched with the Muslim lady talking about how she's being abused, how they were, she was abused. She was trying to get out of marriage. She had to get people to testify. So, and then the lady that believes in the Quran, she's like, I disagree with everything that part. So the hadith, this and that. This is Allah's words. This is supposed to be the prophet that do. So you mean to tell me that in 2026, we able to literally just say, well, you know what? I don't believe in this, what the Bible says. I will not follow it. I'll make my own rules on my own. So, this is where it comes, where like, what do you need to be shown, and I don't want to say false because I haven't stick searchingly, because we know some Qurans were burned, some were given to him. But then when you listen to the things of the Quran, with it being, because we all know God wasn't going to use rich people to spread his message. But at the same time, Satan is a smart mofo, bro. Who's to know that here's this young man that lost his parents, is an orphan. That's what Jesus woke up for. Trying to help, right? So how do we know that here comes Satan? And it's like, wait a minute. You see, so everything always falls back to the situation. Now, with us, with Christianity and Catholic and everything like that, we don't, some do, obviously. Some are very, look, doing this is wrong, doing that is wrong. But it tells you, don't judge. Be real, but don't judge. You see what I'm saying? Let them take their own journey. They repent, like at the last minute, obviously it sounds like a brag, but we all know. I mean, we have testimonies from different people that have died for minutes. They talk about the same thing, and science explain it off like, some, we just don't know, or some are like, again, it's not like they have a book or a TV where it's showing you. They see a spark, and I understand they are very smart. That's why I say, they see a spark and they know that this sparks managed to this or connects to this part, but they can't tell. You know what I'm saying? They just know that these people are having the same spark at the same time, at the same minute. Certain things are released. They give you lucid things. Again, if your body, right? Let's not even go there. Let's not even move into scientific, because I'm jumping from spot to spot right now. Because like I said, this is going to be more of an opinion of what happened, and to show you why everything always kind of falls into religion, and it falls into Christianity or Catholics, Jewish people, even like I said, sometimes, you have those radical Jewish people, but they don't go out and attack people. They don't go out and tell you that you have to pay to live in your own land. And this is one of my biggest problem right now that I'm having, and that is making me more mad, and it's what made me speak out. It's making me speak out more and more and more, and it's gonna just make me keep going. That's why I say subscribe and leave a message and leave a comment, and I will definitely keep posting. Let me know what you want me to talk about. I will start reading the Bible with you guys. I will start with Matthew, and we will go from there. I want to learn it with you guys. But right now, I'm just giving my opinion, giving you a little bit of myself. Um, anyway, so as I was saying, how they try to erase the past. And to me, what it seems like is like, and it doesn't even have to be look like. It's like, oh, how many people die? What the records show? Look, man, if you have this mentality of one human being, it's that it took me, I was 15 years old, 1994. Excuse me, it took me one video to see. It's a documentary, or might be off on the times. But it was about little Muslim kid. I believe this is when I can't remember exactly the time, but I remember it was about this young kid, because then he went from the Iraq War or the Gulf War to something else, and then you heard about certain things in Africa that was going on about I know before the warlords, but they were getting guns, and these people was literally like, you would hear these things and then you would be like, it was hard to prove them because we didn't have the stuff, but there was channels where they talk about it. So anyway, they bring this kid. See, this okay. So they bring this little girl, and she talks about the family's poor and how bombs would drop places where they lived, and they lost everything, and and you can see like a small little village, right? And people, I remember they, at the time they called it it was like a hoax, like a conspiracy. People were trying to make them look bad. And then I did more research, and the thing that I love now is that all those questions that I have, especially back then, and the things that I gathered at the time, it was hard for me to prove them because of we didn't have the technology. But now it's a lot more easier. So like I had all these questions like, okay, so they talk about this little thing, and why did the in Solomon, and they talk about, and they bring it up, the Acme, and the Ahmad means Muhammad, and we all know what we're talking about. And supposedly it was this group called Janami. See this, because it's a big rabbit hole. You know what I mean? It's not, when it comes to this, and the Nephilims and Nephilims, and you get bigger to bigger. This is not just, it just happened. Like, history shows you a lot. You know what I mean? So my point to this is like, I hate when people trying to use it like as number one. Dude, one kid should matter just as much as 300 people. And this is something that bothered me since I was a young kid. That they make a victim. Oh, how many people? Oh, well, she did this. I'm talking about more than like the order we got to like the 2000s. You will hear kids are being women being raped, and they scared to talk out because they are being oppressed. That's an oppression. I mean, come on, let's be realistically. If they're afraid to speak out because they can't prove it, those don't want to be the person that speaks out and they don't believe it, and then here comes, we don't know. So all we know is that there were a lot of kids not a lot of kids. All we know that there was a land. I believe it was. If I'm wrong, please somebody comment below, please. I don't know if it was Iraq, but it was talking about how it will cost less to use drugs than more to buy food. What? But again, that goes to me to tell you. That goes back to say, who like, and don't misquote me, please don't try. If you do, I mean, I know how to protect myself, and obviously there's always somebody stronger, bigger than you, and everything. Whatever. That's not what I'm saying. But don't lie, because that's one of, especially on my time, bro. Like lying was one of the biggest things. Like it didn't flow, because then now when you lie one time, it's like, all right, well, when are you gonna stop lying? Or are you the liar, or you're the person that tells the truth? That's why I always kept it real with everything, no matter what it is. So with the kid Solomon, right, when because he brings it, I believe he brings it up, and he talks about it, how this is sad and everything. Do you know why? Like, and when I was talking about the Gemini stuff, why is a YEMENIA, and then it was a political. I believe that was the group, and the person behind it got behind the Christians, and they didn't want to expose that of who or what they were talking about because it looked sexual. Again, this is not Jesus talking about him coming down and meeting a girl and looking at. Dude, it's about two couples loving each other and talking about each other, and then those things are for adults. You can't even, like, when you talk about the garden and she goes down to the, you know what I'm saying, like what I'm trying to say is that sometimes you try to cover up something thinking it might look good, but it actually backfires, and I think that's what happened. It backfired on us. Really, they were able to use it, and that's why I think they used this. Like, oh, well, they changed this and they changed that, right? Again, why am I doing this video? In my opinion, is because of what this gentleman did to these kids, bro. He straight up lied to them, and that's kind of, besides my last straw being back in the 96, and I used to talk about like that 96, 97, when I used to hear, I have Muslim friends, and they used to get beat up just because the way they talk, and then we'll make fun of them, and and eventually they picked up our culture, and when you talk about them, dress becoming us, it's like they keep trying to erase Afro-Indigenous people. Again, you're trying to make it sound like we wasn't here thriving. We were, okay? So you can fact check me. You can see my opinion, but my opinion, I could back it up with facts. I can either bring it from, I love playing this one here. This is one of my things. I want to see who I haven't left a message for the creator, right? Because the creator is amazing, of whoever did this video. But like I said, we can go from here. I can print facts from there. And eventually, trust me, I will get my little setup hooked up once I get my bag up. You can go here. I have another one out there just to show you. This is one of my biggest things that really had me upset, and so just to show you that it's not that, it just what made me mad, because you see how like now everybody's want Quran versus all the rabbis, and they make it fun. But this is the one with David. That's what really, 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 really upset me. But I also watched this ones too. Check this ones out. You can see how you can check this one's out, and you can see
when you think of your mom,
this
when
man
you think
here.
of your daughter, when you think of your sister, there will be a problem, a big problem.
Right.
You can marry 2, 3,
10 things
or
you can
4.
correct as
Depends
opposed
on
to.
what you want.
And then you
It's
have
not-
Jay.
and-
This
and
is
it's
people.
fit.
Now this man was who I
No
used to.
Just put your thumb up. You're starting to come around.
I can't
That's
remember
comparative.
exactly what
Comparison.
year,
If we had to
but
depend on
it was
sources
way
for Jesus
harder.
comparable to what the Muslims are
Right.
dependent on for Muhammad,
So
Jesus would not begin to appear until the 3rd to 5th century. How
just
would we
listen a little
defend
bit.
him?
I'm gonna let you listen a
With
little
statistics
bit.
like these, how can Raymond suggest that Muhammad is much more historically supported than Jesus? Supposition number 3. If Muhammad did not exist, how do we understand the Sunni-Shiite divide? This is what he says. If Muhammad didn't exist, then no descendants existed either. So how can we understand the Sunni-Shiite divide? Why would there be a huge contention involving the blood descendants of a man who had never existed? Now, to begin with, the first we even hear about Ali as Muhammad's choice is with Sahih Bukhari, Volume 5. While the other counter-argument, which goes against that, exactly contradicts it, is also found in Sahih Bukhari, Volume 5, book number 64.
Besides that
Showing
one,
that his companions didn't
I
even know what side
wanted
they
to
were on.
show you one.
Remember, the canonical version of Sahih Bukhari does not
Besides
appear until
the.
the 14th or 15th century. So this is probably
Yeah,
a
I won't
much
show
later
that.
story,
That
redacted
one
back.
I don't
But
like.
most importantly, this is a political dispute between Persians and
Because,
Arabs,
I
not
mean,
theological. So it could
that's
have been
another
at any
thing that
time by either the Abbasids or the Ottomans in the 14th and 15th century.
this is another thing that upsets me, right? Like, if we Christians, Catholics, or anyone, well, I don't believe they do, but why are we trying to protect or even trying to justify a grown man? I give you the benefit of the doubt. 15. She was 15. Let's just lie for that. 52, 15. Huh? Like, just think about that. And then you have to argue it away, explain it away. It was different times back then. Listen, is it different things if I wasn't reading the Quran or like actually doing the work and me coming out and start just attacking you for no reason, which that's exactly what this gentleman did to his 2 kids. He lied to them. He straight up told them how it was for something else. It was for, I believe in David's video, he talks about how the 2 kids were offered some food and they were told that they were going to talk about religion. It was peaceful. Yet the first thing he brings up is Muhammad, or I'm not exactly sure if that's the first one or the second one, or the first one is the guy with the books, which he comes in and he talks about Jesus is not God, and then he goes on and brings up all these books. The only problem is that the 3 books that he brought up, I could write a book saying why I believe this, but it's been debunked. Not only has it been debunked, but those are anti-Jesus. So just let that sink in for a minute. So you're telling me, this is why sometimes I get like a little bit like is it worth it? But then you think about the kids, the future. And there was this gentleman that said, this young Muslim, said, Muslims will eventually conquer if, will take over America because of, because of politics and everything. Well, let's see one, okay? If we keep exposing and if you Indians, I'm gonna be honest, the ones that made the logo of the Redskins go away, the Chiefs, the Redskins, okay, the Washington, right? You better start getting political, and you better start getting papers, and you better start saying we deserve our land back before we allowed all this. Listen. Do I agree with what Europeans did? The invasion of European, and I use that continent because that's what really happened. I'm not trying to water it down. I'm not saying white. And that's another thing. Stop using the word where this white Europeans came here. No, they were all just like our indigenous peoples had. Their skin color was pale white. But the first groups that got off those boats, look who they were that attacked us. So historically, and this is things where I tell people, like when I leave a comment. And sorry, my comments are horrible, bro. I'm self-taught everything. They talk about how, the first people that got here and that came here was, look it up historically. Who were they? Was skin color, skin tone, So we have bad people that does bad things. In each tribe, okay, each skin tone has nothing to do with a race being higher than the other one or being, smarter than the other one. No, what made it easier for them is that we already believed in the Great Spirit. We already believed in the land being holy and maybe not those words, but the land giving us food, giving us to eat. And, this is one of my things that I will never forget. Is my grandfather telling me, question everything you hear. Okay? Question everything you hear. Now, if I put aside all the historical facts and I move on from when I was 14 years old to today, 2015, 2014 when I lost Jesus, when I walked away, 2015, 16. But he still, and this is how God is good. He still called us back. We went to church. We tried to get into a church. We went to I believe it was a place where they took us. They had a pool. They had places where you sleep, horse ride in, all this stuff for us. And can't remember the name of the place that they took us, but it was it was beautiful. It was good people. They wanted us to be holy. We went to the church. We listened to the thing. But God, it wasn't that Jesus wasn't in my heart. I wasn't in my heart. I wasn't loving myself. Because I couldn't be the father that I could. Gave my kids a big house with 3 rooms, 2-car garages, all these things, material things. And I thought that would fulfill our lives. When it was just me thinking of this dumb thing. Right? So let's just move on from there to the things that I seen. And when I heard that kid say, back, it was so much easier back in the day. You just went to work, you did what you had to do, and this was this kid talking about it. And he says, and it's hard to tell them, it's hard to speak to them about their life. Brother, it's the same thing. Except that back then they didn't have cameras. Trust me. We were riding and you see the car pull up and you have tint windows, or even the back ones, you put them all down. So all this where you start acting wild and start roughing it up, and I don't need to show you my ID. No, bro, you kill people with kindness. Because then you just, and especially today, where they have no choice but to have recorded, brother, sister, y'all be killing it with bread because of suing this the way people treat certain people. Because bad people, we have them in cops, we have them, it doesn't matter. We have them everywhere, right? So just think about it. They ask you for little some things, you show them, they're still going to treat you bad. If you follow the rules or you don't follow the rules. Except, the only thing is that if you don't follow what he says, now you're giving him a reason. Now he can justify his situation. Or, well, I asked him for the driver's license. She didn't listen to me. Or he didn't listen to me. He thought he was above the law. You know, this is the things. We have to get into the politics. We have to get into their human-made laws. You know what I'm saying? Why is it that you buy a house on top of a land, but the land is a square that you still got to pay taxes because it's on the land? So it's money. I understand. Listen, it all comes down to money. And do you see how they switched it to the point where, oh, you're lazy as hell because you don't work 50 hours a week every week and make those payments. Miss 2. Miss 3. Do you think they cared that you went to the hospital, you had a heart attack? Nah. So again, this is why I said that deception is coming. And I seen it. And how do you stop it? You don't stop it fire with fire. You don't act like a fool. You don't talk to a fool by acting like a fool. You either do what God did, or you act like a fool with a fool and look like a fool. You know what I'm saying? Me, I'd rather learn and learning too, because in learning too I'm 90, because knowledge is beautiful. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean about what cry, and see how everything falls to that. You act like a fool, you treat it like a fool, or you turn your cheek. Okay? Let me go this about it the way they go about it. And now you start understanding. You know, this is people it's not like we were fighting excuse my language, I didn't mean fighting. It's not like these people are aliens and we can't speak their language. Look at, you have people from this side, from the Democrats, people that are in the middle, people that are here, talk about certain situations. Well, that person is right. We need the border. We need to separate these people from here because they're all the bad people that are coming here. Again, you mean when the Europeans were being slaughtered in their own country because they were poor and stuff, so they had to go look for somewhere else to live. They came here, they saw that we were thriving, that we were doing very good, that we had highways, that everything was, so they started eating good, they started sending letters back, popes, the league. So remember, it's not like bad people come here. No, people that are looking for a better life. And that's what it was. Free of the land. Like, land of the free. I'm sorry. See, I'm a speak, bro. I speak English. So remember that. You know what I'm saying? This was the land of the free, where you come and you become somebody. You know, this is the underdog. You know what I'm saying? You're the underdog. you become somebody. Hip hop was about telling you a story of how hard life was. Me and Biggie said it, dog. I'm making more money than you. You know what I'm saying? Wait a minute. Hey, no, well, 50 Cent. I mean, not 50 Cent. Biggie Smalls said, how much does a garbage truck man make? Because he said, I believe the dude said something about you gonna be a garbage truck driver. And then he started saying, how much does a garbage truck man driver make? Da, 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 da. He points it out, and then I make more than you. Again, remember, this is people that, look at you down since you're little. They're not supposed to speak to a kid like that just because, but you have those in everything. That's what my point was. So again, let's get back to, because, I'm going to do this one for an hour. And, I want to use the last 50 minutes about that whole situation with this kid and those two kids and the lie and, and what was the most that got me upset was how he is lying about it. You know what I'm saying? He's coming out and he's presenting it away. And it made me upset because, again, that's how they presented it back in the day to us. How, the indigenous people was this retarded people, was this people that didn't know nothing. They ate people, they were sacrificed virgins. None of that. That was a pagan situation. So my point to all of this is, look at the deception. If you need to lie, if you need to go to, and what hurts me the most is that the answers are right there, brother. If I give you something that tells you, hey, look, everything is right here. You don't need nothing else but this. Okay? Now, I know for a fact that the Bible never claims. It doesn't give us a challenge. Actually, I'm lying. The challenge is, get your knowledge up. Question me. Come and holler at me. Come and talk to me. The stories that are talking about, those are the stories about me. Somebody that's in love. Like that story that they try to use this act, this Muhammad in a different name. You know what I'm saying? And that's what made me the most upset. Like how they try to twist these things to benefit them. But I believe that we would have cut that out. Like we would have that would have never happened. This would have never happened the minute it said, yo, y'all threaten us because y'all think that's going to make us look bad on the Bible? Nah, leave that right in there. That's what they try to take out, supposedly. And that's where all this was. So you go to the political, I'm not exactly remember exactly word by word, but that's just how it was. It was something with the German. Look it up, you know what I mean? It's not that hard. That's the most beautiful thing about today. It's bad because you can make it look one way, like if you don't know anything. Like when I saw the video, I'm like, what? This is the man that everybody's talking about. Like he's running away from God Logic, running away from Sam, running away from his people, but he goes and chat. This is going to be good. You know what I'm saying? My knowledge is about to get up on not only just the Quran, but the knowledge of Christianity and, and more. Now, again, I haven't hit my journey to the point where I could tell you that, oh, this is 100, because I'm still in it, you know what I'm saying? Because of what happened to me in 2016 and why I walked away. But that's, eventually you get to know. But when you're doing that, that's what upset me. You know what I mean? Because now you're not just trying to raise our history, but you're trying to be like, look what they did. Now it's our turn to do it. That's what it looked like. Like, y'all need to believe it. Like, this is why chairs This is why this religion is good. That's why you need to embrace it. I mean, just look at the video with the woman, bro. The woman is telling her, and she's literally saying how that some parts, no, it's spreading love. That was back in it. That was on those days. No, the Quran says it itself. It's forever. It's the word of God. It cannot be changed. Do not twist it. Do not turn it. Do not do anything like that. And that's all they do. And it made me so mad because here's these two kids thinking, you know what I'm saying? And now, in the beginning, I started thinking, bro, are these kids going to lose their scholarship? Because if you go to Michigan or you go to any of the scholarship, you do something like that. Now, if I'm thinking, you just said these people are representing the students. So I'm thinking, for one, I'm starting to see students represent. Two, I don't see that many real students. And then it's like, when you're telling them, it's to some kids that are actually kind of like listening to you and like, oh, okay, so that's where that says that, and then you bring this book, you see this, like, you have to go outside the Quran to show you this on a book that tells you that is fully explained and everything. You know what I mean? And that was one of the things. And I remember back in the day, somebody tried, and I was telling on Sam's channel, I made a comment, somebody's like, you're a liar. There's no such a thing as you're supposed to look for somebody to guide you. It's just you lying, da-da-da. I'm like, what? How are you going to tell me what I seen, what I was told? I was told I was a rookie, that I needed to, don't ask too many questions in the beginning, just listen, right? That's what they tell you, to understand it, to listen. But then when back then, I guess, and I don't want to make the assumption of back then was a dumber generation, because it wasn't that. It was that we didn't have, like, a lot of people didn't have the time to go to New York City, to go to the library that had everything, or we didn't have all the YouTubes, or we didn't have the people. Now, today, we have gentlemen like Sands, we got Gala, that doing the work for us. So if I look at myself, if I love Jesus, and I seen Jesus go through that, was hurt, killed, beat up, crucified, hanged for my sins, and I don't even have the dignity to try to go expose something that he did for me, dude, I can't. That's why I tell people, anybody can claim anything. That's why when you listen to rap, it's right there, brother. If you don't, man, that nigga ain't doing nothing, man. He ain't talking about nothing. He's not living in the streets. He's not doing about, like, you speak about what you lived. It's telling your story. That's what it's always been about. It was never about, like, cars and this and that. And, of course, and the Bible never says nothing about being rich or anything like that. I'm not trying to excuse it or trying to give you a thing where, oh, you're not going to go, or you're going to be just. Again, I'm my journey, you and your journey. You choose to do what you do. But what I'm trying to say is that don't say you're something that you're not walking. In other words, when I say I believe in Jesus, I'm Jesus Christ Savior. I'm Jesus Christ. I apologize. Jesus Christ is my Savior. You know what I'm saying? That's who saved me. Saved me a lot of time. But I'm not going to sit here and say I know every chapter. Now, I can sit here and, a lot of people, right, don't believe you, bro. But my walk, my history, you can look it up. It's not that hard to look up people's history. You know what I'm saying? I don't have nothing hard. That's why I can be able to put my things on and walk around, and because I know that I never did anything dirty to anybody, even when I was at my lowest. You know what I'm saying? There was something always in my heart. That's not everybody. But now am I going to judge you because of that? No. In the Bible, it never says judge anybody. Just drop your seed. Let people know. But again, I'll be a hypocrite if I was to say, I love Jesus. I would do anything for you, Jesus. I will show you that I'm riding with you if I allow people to lie on you, because he can't protect himself. You know, it's like when people's like, oh, why did he call up there? He ain't never call up there. If he listened to Noah and some other things, dude, that, you know, and then you want to believe in those books and you want to bring those books, like, and the world shaked, and an army of 70,000 army of angels prepared, just waiting for the word. So how come when he said, you know, and I understand what he said, you know, now that I have done what you asked of me, I'm ready to go home. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to get back to you, because there was no human yet, and there would never be a human that can do what he did, because we are able to be tempted. We won't be able to be tempted once the Holy Ghost. You know what I'm saying? But there's damn one thing that it is. You're not going to buy me for $1 or $2 or, you know, trade. You know, that's just the thing. I want to be the type of person, bro. And I don't know, this is something that people used to look at me when I was a kid. I used to laugh. I used to tell them, bro, I'm going to be the first person that becomes like, with Troop Infinity. I will make infinity money to the point where nobody in the world, and I don't even care. I'm just going to build things and for animals, for people, and it is what it is. You lose it, you know. There's not going to be no rules. There's, you know, like, trying to understand what I'm saying. Like, there will be no hunger, no poverty, be beautiful homes everywhere, you know what I mean? Nothing is yours now. Of course, you're going to have people that are good, and they're going to guide you that right way. And but that's just, I'm just giving you a little thing that, you know, when you're a kid, you think of these things. You look at the world, it's a good and bad, bad and good, and that's that, you know what I mean? You don't think of how people actually use, they use manipulation, how they use lies to get what they want. You know, we seen it, and we try to tell people, but they're not going to believe you because you don't have to prove. So I get all back to everything of what I said. What I'm trying to, you know, what I really want y'all to get from this is to that your journey with Jesus, or even if you don't, you know, and the Bible says, you know, even if you don't know me, it's better for you not to know me or know the truth and deny me. And excuse me, and again, I'm using my words, so don't say the Bible didn't say that, because it said it. It just might not said it on the way that I'm representing it, but it said it. You know what I'm saying? And you can read it for yourself. I'm not adding it. It's really what it kind of, I don't want to say kind of said, because it's like my understanding, right? Or like even on certain religions, they say you're going to understand it your way. So when I understood, so that's what I said, the way I understood it. And then I reread it again. I asked Jesus. This is something I always do before I read the Bible. I always ask Jesus, please, Jesus, give me the strength to understand what I'm reading. And if I don't understand it, then I will search for it, trying to figure out a way. But please, Jesus, if you are here with me, or you can send the Holy Spirit to help me, or to understand. You see what I mean? Like, some things I don't even understand myself, you know. That's why I say, don't quote me for the Bible. I represent Jesus by the way I walk. You know what I mean? I don't represent Jesus by quoting his word because I'm not prepared yet to do all that. I'm not there to debate people. I'm not there. This is my testimony. This is my opinion. This is my, but I'm not going to lie about it. I'm not going to try to twist it and what the Bible said or try to say something the Bible didn't say so you can believe it. You know what I'm saying? That's deception. That doesn't help anybody. And what is even more crazy to me about this religion that I'm learning more. And again, this is not about a tribe, because we already know, I read it, where there were thousands of Muslims that were reciting, millions, reciting a different Quran. Some kept it for themselves, didn't collect them. Not too long, well, a few years back, Jay Smith went with a woman. They had over 23 copies that were from back in the day that they were able to say. Again, I'm getting to this to say this. Even now, you see the corruption of how they twist and turn the word. You're seeing it. You're looking at it. You know what I'm saying? So this is things that are being told, right? So again, this is not, my job is to be at radio, to speak out, to speak the truth, to try to imitate Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I sin. I drink Red Bull. That might not be good for your body. You know, I drink soda. That's not good for your body. You know what I mean? I'm destroying my body. So you can't just use a situation, like you can't act like it's not in front of your face. It is in front of your face. Like when you're younger, you feel more strong. You feel more ready to go. You know what I'm saying? You're ready to debate the world. You think you know it all. But even when I was young, I always kept my car in my own lane. I never went out of my lane. You know what I'm saying? I didn't try to act. I didn't try to be. You know what I mean? When I watched 50 Cent, when I watched the 50 Cent movie, all I do is keep laughing. Not because it was 50 cents, because when I was a kid, I know. And especially in that age, we know. You know, we know the 90s, the 80s. Well, I don't know the 80s, so don't quote me there, because I was 1990 was exactly when I got here. So, and my grandfather told me how his dad had houses and they have farms. My uncles in New York City, New Orleans, Mississippi, and then they talk about how the Bronx is so heavy with Spanish people. I wonder why, but anyway, that's for something else. But do you see what I'm saying? History is right there in front of you, and it's beautiful. But when you start using, like, it should be like one person should be enough. We shouldn't have to. Well, how many cases? 2 cases. Oh, we can't take that too serious because only 2 cases happen. When we know that there are little girls that are starving in this country. See, and like what I was trying to say, and what that made me really upset with the gentleman because he used a love story that had nothing to do with our Creator, Jesus, God. You know, like I said, when I got my I don't want to say revelation because I haven't had it yet, you know. But when you waiting or you're trying to ask God, yo, show, like, you know, you need to prove, you know, I'm not arrogant like that. I never was. But you know, when you're trying to use that that tactic is so slimy, man. And then on top, like, okay, let's say they agreed. Like they all agreed to get paid, and it was paid. It was a paid whole situation. But then when you start attacking certain things without knowing certain things that are being said, and you lying to kids about it, that's when I have to step in. And it's not because I'm gonna be out there with a shotgun and listen, that don't make a man. A man doesn't make a man by grabbing a gun and shooting people. You know what makes a man? By providing for his family, which I failed today. I know my kids are older. I know my kids are all doing everything, and I know that when I was younger, I did provide for them and everything. But in my head, provide was different. I thought that it was the big house because that's what they put on our face. So my point to this is this: the history is in our face. We see it. We know. We lived it. So to say, I seen a video where a mother is a black mother. I hate using this word. It's a black family, and there comes a mother with her son, and he's wearing a shirt, and she's telling, hey, he's bullying me, and he's joking about my clothes, and his mother's like, you whack, and she's like, well, we come from Section 8 and da-da-da, we were poor, and, take your shoes off and everything. Dude, that felt so good. And it's not because, like, I don't get the pleasure from, like, of what? Like, oh, that kid got what he just, no. Because you can see the young kids, you know what I'm saying? Who knows better? You don't learn if you don't make mistakes. Again, God doesn't use rich people to do good deeds or to show poor people, hey, because there's two different worlds, two different people, you know what I mean? So that touched me, because she right away let him know, listen, don't, this is not what I taught you, see? And that right there, and that's why I'm bringing that up, because that's not what he was being taught, She didn't tell him that. He's seen all of this. He felt all the pain. He probably went to sleep hungry. So he knows all of this. But now he felt like he was something there. And it happens. But you can't judge him. See what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. People think, and it drives me insane when people's like, Mexicans and Hispanic and they all get this welfare and they getting the, dude, they have spent billions and you lucky the land you have is because of ours. Okay? And it's not even your land because you still got to pay for it. Okay? And I'm not wishing this on anybody, but lose your job, get her, see how quick they don't come and take that little house that you have, or the big house, the big millions that you have. Okay? Because we know there's trillions and trillions in the treasury banks. So my point, it goes to all of this, it goes to that man, dude, if you need to lie about your religion, you're conceding. You are telling people, and people need to make it go viral. And people need to jump on this, not because, do it from your heart. We know that this comes with a lot. And, and you could even watch that video where they're in UK and I believe, they're in UK, and the Muslim lady, she's telling her story of an ex-Muslim, telling her story about how, she was, and there's Muslim that still follows the Quran, and she's telling her like, you just said this is a propaganda and stuff. Like, yeah, you saying that because you're in the Western culture, but what about that kid that's over there that just lost both of his parents to war? It doesn't matter if it's, even if he wasn't, right? Let's say if it wasn't, because, everybody, the two over there is the Jewish. Jewish as far as everything. They everything. Everybody blames them. Like, dude, stop. Okay? We know. We seen it. I read it. I look history, and it's not that I'm not pro-Palestine. I'm not pro this. I'm pro-human. Okay? And I don't want to see that one kid. Like, when you see a kid hungry, going to bed, or you see a dog, which I have one myself, and I love them, and I love her, and a cat, eat better than a kid, it breaks my heart. Why? Because I'm broke. Wish I could. But then you think about it, then you find out the big scam that they had. They got over $1 million. What they took the money for, they used it to buy guns. And then not they only use your guns, but then they went to go take homes from these people and burn villages. Documentaries. They did it in South Africa. They did it in, they're doing it in the UK. They want to do it in the United States. They want to pass the Sharia law in the United States. They talking about it. So just like if they feel that they can come here and be in politics, well, I challenge every Indian, every Indonesian person, get your political things together and become political. Take our land back, New York City. Again, the people that's here and has followed the Western culture and has done, thank you. Yes, I will never forget, thank you. Yes, but don't forget that you took a lot from us, but thank you for keeping it that way. And I allowed it to become a eat world. I lost how it goes, but you know what I'm trying to say, and that's what I'm saying, and this is that video alone, and of course some other things, like I said, with the Jay Smith situation, when he had to have a black man jump on top of him to cover him because they were beating him up. There's so many, I can't remember all by name, but they talk about the historical go out there and spend their own bread to dig up and make technology, and and I get it, we should make in technology to figure out a way to, but look at all these lands, like, obviously, United States is so big, it was so beautiful that when you had some pictures showed you how tribes from New York City was beautiful, and they had people eating, and it was houses, and it was like it's still beautiful. I mean, let's not lie. I mean, it's a beautiful country. I mean, yeah, of course, the Western, but you can't just say it was a bunch of white kids making it, right? Sorry to break your heart, but who was it? 99%. Black, Spanish, some, hardworking people. That's why I hate using the skin tone thing. But back then, we used to joke around. That white boy, that Spanish boy, Mexicano, they used to call me all type of things. But we joke around, because we knew words couldn't hurt you. Now they made it where words hurt you. And yes, words do hurt you to certain things when you use it malicious. When you talk with friends and situations like that, it's a whole different story. I mean, but yeah, and then he brings up the books. Then he brings up the young teen, which that was one of the most. It angered me because not only are you using this kid's face to push this agenda about, look at this Christian talking about Christianity, and I believe in one of his words were, I destroyed them. Really? How about I schooled them, or I teach them about how the real Quran is. See what I'm saying? You will never hear a person when they say destroy Satan, yeah, but you're not gonna hear somebody say, hey, I'm gonna go destroy that fake religion with fire and guns and Jesus Christ, here you go. Even the lady says to you, bro, in UK, she's telling you, well, those are not real Muslims. The ones that fight so that's their fault, right? Kids that lost their kids, had nobody, they've been brainwashed, propaganda. Wait a minute. Did Hitler do something? No, I forgot. That's a conspiracy theory. That's why I try to tell y'all, you know what I'm saying? It was so much back then that no matter how much proof you could prove, oh, that's a conspiracy theory. Oh, but, now you can actually, bro, you think it's a conspiracy theory? Here's this one. You see what I'm saying? So you can use your technology. So technology is very good. But technology is also bad because you can lie. You know what I mean? So I'm going to leave this video today for, it's my opinion. And like I said, I'm going to subscribe, get some more subscribers. I started my channel about, I think it was 2024. And it was just like, it was going to be about animals, voiceovers, and thinking about making, and funny videos and everything like that. But now I'm going to have to get my sword back, like they say, put your armor on and get my mask on and bring this war back how it used to be from the 90s, because a lot of things, especially with Sam and Jay Smith, and Al Fadi, they brought a lot of things back. Got Logic, they brought a lot of things back where I was like, bro, that was me when I was a little kid. Well, I don't want to say a little kid, a teenager. That was me, you know what I'm saying? So it was like that. It kind of like, and then I started reading the Bible, and something told me, hey, ask your sister to send you the Hebrew, Greek, English that has the Old Testament, New Testament, and then it has the Hebrew and the Greek and the explanations on the same Bible, right? And then you also read, I didn't read them. I actually watched the Noah video, the book, Enoch, or I'm sorry, Enoch. Isn't that a Christmas thing? I think it is.
Century, and then redacted back first to al-Bukhari and then to the person of Muhammad himself, in order to give authority to which.
But yeah, this one, check this one out, and you'll get some cool things from it, right? You'll really get some really cool knowledge. And what makes it crazy about it is because you would think, like, oh, that will contradict this. And then you're like, wait, what? It's something like this, right? Um, it's literally this. Check this videos out like that, right?
On the island of Patmos.
And like, if you don't like to read,
sent me there because I refused to stop speaking about Jesus Christ. They thought exile would silence me. They thought the story would end on that island. But they were wrong.
And you can see where the things are.
Who dare say it is over?
And the more you
when
read,
God
right,
is not
or
spoken.
You watch and stuff like that, you start putting two and two together. Like, this is the book of Revelation,
alone,
right?
The silence around me suddenly changed.
The excitement, right?
A voice behind
and
me, loud like a trumpet.
Listen.
I turned, and what I saw shook me to my core. The heavens opened before me. I saw creatures beyond human understanding. I saw judgment coming upon the earth. I saw kings trembling in fear. I saw the end unfolding before my eyes. What I witnessed was not a dream. It was revelation.
So, and they have like all the gospels, they have a lot. They have real, and I go and I will like look at those and I will confirm it with the Bible, and then I will look at other stuff and confirm it with that. So that's what you can do too. It's a lot of good. So, like I said, I'm a rookie right now, bro. I'm back. If this was 1996 with the work that I had and the books that I lost, if I would have had those plus this now, we'd be an untouchable team, bro. We will be amazing. And we're going to be amazing. We will get it together. And we'll all become one, But, yeah, man. Dude, you need to apologize to those people. And also, I hope, I don't hope, because I don't ever hope another man's fall. That's not what we about. Well, that's not what I'm about. You know what I'm saying? I will never be about that. I believe in the creating a world where everybody gets better. There's no hunger. There's no poverty. There's no race separation. We just learn from our cultures, and that's what Jesus wanted. I mean, if you can't see the message and you can't understand that, it makes no sense to me. Like, how can you not want that? How beautiful. And maybe it's because, I'm naive, and people used to tell me that, bro, you're naive. You believe that the world is good, that you believe that everybody has a good heart like you do. And, you would take your shirt off your back to give it to somebody in a cold ass winter, he'll give you a coat, whatever. It is what it is, But we can't show Jesus. We can't show God that we can unite in what he has created, Like, people think that human is a diabolic act that can commit and be tempted to. But those angels that came down, you know who they were. You know who they tempted. They tried to tempt Jesus. They couldn't, And that's why especially back then, no matter how I was about Jesus, like, it wasn't me with a Bible walking around like, yo, I quote this and this. It was more like learning. But then it was like, okay, I want to prove Jesus. I want to prove the devil. And then he was like, okay, not really worry about what the Bible says, because that's not really what I was looking to it. I was just a Jesus kid. You know what I mean? I believe Jesus. Jesus was the Savior. Jesus, I knew the main things. So my knowledge in the book wasn't, but everything that satanic verses and everything like that, and then when it came to, he always brought to this religion. You know what I'm saying? And when you attack our religion without the knowledge, and the knowledge that I have, and that other people had, and that we got actually put together, brother, be careful. That's what Sam says. And I'll leave it as here. Oh, and I will get some names in the next video from the UK and Poland. And like I said, if anybody, also, if you know anybody out there that can help me out, maybe make a video on how to put these things together where I can actually go from one of my laptops and do everything on there, and maybe read from here, or show you certain things, especially the stuff that I used to have, like that I used to look for, and because a lot of books are lost, but lately a lot of stuff that I used to do back when I was younger, it's like, oh yeah, I remember that, So I'm having this, like, Jesus putting all these things in me, like, yeah, remember that, remember this, remember that, this is what you wanted to do, here you go. So I believe the calling is now. And the calling is that, I'm not going to allow my land to get stolen twice. We lost it once. And that's what God says. Fool me once. Try to fool me twice. Won't happen. Or, I'm sorry. Did I say Jesus in that? No, Jesus didn't say that. I apologize. If I did, I am wrong. But, yeah. Fool me once. So on you. Fool me twice. So on me. So, again, just little things like that, man. It's like 6 o'clock, 4 or 5 o'clock. What time is it? Yeah, it's 4:30 in the morning. But yeah,
Before we get into the vision, let's first understand who John was.
This is about John, that's right.
There are several people called John in the Bible. We have John the Baptist.
But the video that I want you guys to see is
John
that
Mark,
about UK, and also, like I said, that I want to, and also that Enoch video that
traditionally linked to the
it's
Gospel
amazing,
of John,
man. Like,
the letters of John, and the Book of Revelation. He was a
it tells you all
fisherman
these
living an
things.
ordinary life by the Sea of Galilee with his brother.
It tells you all this stuff, but yeah, right here, the Book of Enoch. This one's awesome. You know what I mean? And that book alone can show you some. And like I said, it can. Dude, do you understand what it would like?
Before a single page of your Bible
To be corrupted, okay? You know what I'm saying? Is check this out.
He wrote it all down. We call it the Book of Enoch. An apostle named Jude quoted it by name in the New Testament you already own. Yet somewhere along the way, the Western Church quietly set it aside. The Ethiopian Bible never did. For 2,000 years,
So,
they kept the whole
I think I gotta talk about it in the first and pause and do some things like that. But yeah, check those out, you know what I mean?
Jude actually wrote. In Jude verse 14 and 15, he says it plainly. And Enoch also, the seventh from Adam, prophesied of these, saying, Behold, the Lord cometh with 10,000s of his saints. Read that twice. An apostle, writing inside your New Testament, names Enoch the seventh from Adam.
We put stuff together, and that's the best part about the whole situation, that
So
the
here,
more you're trying to debunk it, it's like it only just helps more to understand that Jesus is beautiful. But I'm really trying to find that video for y'all, man. Like, with the situation with the lady. I mean, this lady, bro, and that's what kills me. This European. I apologize about that. This Western Muslims that are living great due to us culture, the Western culture, and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? This is a good one that you need to check out too. 12 rare discoveries that prove Jesus really existed. Okay, that's another one that you can check out. But yeah, you will find a lot of them, you know, with different ones. But we can't, like, scientists, explorers, and you know, I look into like, that's what you will see most of my things. Just like you know, if I was to show you some revelations or tell you some stories about diabolic things that happen in certain places, were pretty wow. Another one was that I love was the forbidden continent, Antarctica, that a lot of things were melting down in this. Like I said, and remember, this has got nothing to do with like trying to make you follow us. We do your work, and you're living in a time where it's beautiful, where you can learn and see it for yourself with your own eyes that, you know, this is real, man. This is, and the more you keep thinking like, you know, it's a joke, but yeah, Islamic Muslims are taking Europe over, and the more you keep allowing, you know, I think this one was this kid. I'm not exactly sure. I heard he was called into a.
I noticed your tattoo. Could you say what it says?
I'm down.
It says Hamas.
Yeah.
Hamas.
This is Little Yemen.
Right? Yeah, Hamas.
Does this look like the Bronx to you?
This is the Bronx, bro. Like.
I'm filming a YouTube video about Little Yemen. Can I ask you a question?
I don't speak English.
I am not
Arabic.
strong in English.
Oh, no English.
This is Ibrahim.
You know. Again, I'm not here to trying to like, but bro, this is my land. This is our land. Stop trying to kick us away, bro. You know what I mean? You start doing. Now I gotta speak loud and very clear. We're Western. We're here with the European people. You are not gonna start doing this. Playing victim. Like y'all victims. Like, nah. Y'all hurt my people. My people was hurt. And this is our land. And, you know, even, I remember this one dude who was like, oh, they just moved, they destroying that place so they can go over there, build that place, stay over there, go back over there, let them go over here, destroy here. And then it's gonna, like, yeah, it gets pretty wild, bro. But like I said, I'm not trying to go down that rabbit hole just yet. Because right now it's just my word. It's just my opinion and my talking. Once I'm able to show you some facts and show you video where you can see with your own eyes, you're gonna be like, whoa. you're gonna be like, whoa, yeah, it's time to wake up, you know what I mean? And it's time to start exposing these people for really who they really are. And it's like playing victim. Like my Afro ancestors, my Garifunos people, like my land, like my grandfather's dad that didn't lose a farm with 20 horses and 30 extra horses, wild horses, and things was like that. And it gets to the point where you're like, okay, brother, enough is enough. It's time to expose certain things. So that's what I'm here for. And I ain't gonna lie, that video when he started doing that, yeah, because now you will see, like, that video, the way he clipped, especially with AI. And I remember when he said, Will Smith was like, yo, I'm gonna be over here and they're gonna have me in AI being over here and everything. And I know, like, a lot of people's like, iRobot, iRobot, that was what? Like, okay, so when I watch movies, I pay really close attention, right? And I see certain things. And I know, listen, this is not a conspiracy. I'm not sitting here talking about, like, oh, the AI is going to take over, the robots are going to take over. But if you look at this more specifically, right? The movie concept. Gentleman sees family. Will Smith end up getting apart. That, we know, is powerful. His best friend gets thrown out the window because he knows too much. Then, who's the bad guy? The dude, right? You make it sound like the dude is the bad guy. He's the one that is behind everything. And what happens? Then we find out that it was actually the main power thing. You know what I'm saying? That was running everything. The satanic part about the part. Just so many movies that I can, that I have watched, that I picked up little things, and it feels like they're throwing little hints at you. Like the 1980, brother, if you cannot look at the 1980s movie where he put the glasses on, takes them off, and it's the whole thing. Yeah, they made it look funny, and they try to play it off that way but that's what was happening. And it's showing you right there. This gentleman comes from another place and starts working and looking for work and gets a job. And he's a good dude. It's not like he's trying to come over here. It's not like he's raised, But there's always this division. There's always this. I'm not talking about that movie. I'm talking about other movies like with the Mummy, and you see those cool Muslims with the tattoos in their face and the horses, and they trying to protect, and they're telling them, bro, get out of here because there's satanic things under there, and you don't want to talk, or you don't want to wake them up because certain thing. But that's what I'm saying. Like, even let's say even if, let's say, God and Satan wasn't real, because we all know, right? Say I grant you that Jesus and the devil isn't real, and the things are just humanized. Humans feel everything. And how come when you about to do something bad, unless you a psycho bad person, you not gonna feel bad. But you think about those things right away, like why a movie make you cry, why you have those feelings, why these little things, why you pick this little thing up and that, like the Superman movie. Brother, if you think Superman is about this man fighting and look at the story behind it. If you can't understand Superman more clearly of what they telling you, of what it is, then it's money, power, control. Who has the power of the world? And let me tell you one thing. I'd rather not only go back to my days of my tribes, like my ancestors, where you worked and you built your own land and you did your thing and you didn't worry about the race. Everybody was your brother. Hey, you need to, we know that food became a consumption for people and became money. And I mean, I wish I could get my hands on some of the books that dude, What Is It Now, has. And hey, if you see this video, come across this video, and make sure you leave a comment, subscribe. But if you do come across, let them know, bro. What's up, man? Where can I get this book? Give me the best Indonesia's Afro books that I can come across that can help me. And if you can help me, I know, because I believe you just do it off your phone. Eventually, I do want to get the whole little setup for the thing so I can show y'all of all this situation that are happening. Especially bro, if y'all were to see what was really happening on 95, 96, 97. Because if you see, a lot of people from other places might not know, but in 1999 was supposed to be the end of the world and everything was going to get shut down. And that movie came in with Arnold, and Satan came here, and he made a deal, trying to make a deal with him, but he fought him and sent him back. He was supposed to put a seed on the woman, this is what kills me. That when you have to start protecting or it's like sexual stuff. Oh, she was 15. Oh, she was this. This was back. Like, dude, what? Like, just think about that. And this is why I said that satanic. And I'm not talking about the 1980s Marilyn Manson satanic, where they just rebel against their parents or rebel against the oppression. And of course, if that's what a rebel will be, then I'll be part of all that. I want my ancestors' land back. I want the farm. I want what he told me they had. And again, how would he know? This is why I said this is why it clear. And I guess I became so focused on that because of what the things my grandfather told me. It was like, okay, well, this is here, this is here, this is real. They're spreading this thing of this white, blue-eyed Jesus, which in his eyes, it wasn't that. It was a great spirit and everything like that. But then he believes that Christianity became more popular, and the more he understood it and the more he read it and he got it, he understood that there was no man that could do or show us what a real Christian is supposed to do. So it's not like a lot of people don't seem to understand. It's not that Jesus said, I'm gonna stop being me, I'm gonna go down there, I'll take human flesh, I'm gonna get beat up and stuff like that and everything. You know what I mean? The devil's already beat, bro. We already know he can't go over there. We already know that's very guarded. Even if you want to use the fact that he died and he left the world alone for 3 days, But you think those angels was gonna sit there and wait, or what? Think those angels was gonna protect this world that they needed to be? But that's not even that. That sounds just so dumb. You see how dumb that sounds? To even have to try to like make that argument, it's so dumb. Like, look, Jesus, God never left his power behind when he became a man. He became a man to teach us what we supposed to do, who he followed, right? This is a poor man that went to a poor family. Just think about it. Like, why would, if this was all dumb, right? And it was just like, why, and if it's white, right? Why would it not be this? Jesus, rich, white, blue eye man, came down, went into a rich white family, and the white family spread the word, and he showed them everything, and then went back, or said it's okay. This is, you see what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't make sense. But what you read makes so much sense, and it's the only way. Excuse me. The only way you can refute it is either you gotta lie to yourself, or you gotta say, I don't believe in you. That's where the free will comes. Free will. Okay? He doesn't want robots. So that's for one. He never died. He never called out for help. You know what I'm saying? He never said, God help me, please, God help me. I'm afraid, and they beat me. I fulfilled what I said I was gonna do. It happened. And then, what I'm trying to say with the situation, why, when the Bible say, my word will be spread all over the world. All over the world. So, obviously, he knows that there's going to be generation after generation after generation. Abraham, Isaac, his wife, all these people are named, where you read Matthew, in the beginning it gives you everything, and it tells you about the baptized, telling about the born part, born when he was born, not born, born, and it tells you when Mary went, and this to his family, and they, we don't worship Mary, we don't worship Jesus, we don't worship God. We know Jesus is God. We respect Mary because we respect her because she did give birth to God and he chose her. But that's not even just it. You're supposed to give respect. You're supposed to, the golden rule. Look it up with the golden rule, the silver rule. If you want to say y'all made it up, I'll give you that then. The silver rule. Do what you do unto others what you don't want to do done to yourself. That's one, okay? So many things that this either has to be, and that's why a lot of people, and this is why when I was younger, people would just walk away. Because the minute they would say, oh, that was a demonic power. Oh, so you're saying that there are demons. There are bad demon spirits. So who's the good spirits? No. Well, that's why I don't believe in Jesus and stuff like. You just said that it was a demonic entity that he captured that tempted him to do this. So what is it? Is it? It's like Sam says, you can't have your cake and eat it all too, or some shit like that, right? Or some stuff like that. Excuse my language. But yeah, you know what I mean. I'm not very good at quoting people and I hate quoting people because I misquote them wrong. But understand, and this is from the bottom of my heart. I don't have darkness in my heart. And I'm not gonna say I don't know why. It's just like from since I was little. I worked when I was 7, 8. My grandmother taught us things. I lived from house to house. Like, you know, my mother was a hard worker. She had her house in the United States from way back then, you know, and we could say we paid to become. So I mean, it's not like we haven't. We've seen it. We've seen it with our own eyes. We can use the words and switch them to make them sound not hurtful. And that's where I think these people went. You know, the invaders went wrong when they try to listen. It is what it is. Don't try to change it because now you're giving other people. You give Satan exactly what he wanted. Man is too smart. So by you trying to raise this, here's this other group, here's Satan trying to come in and be like, okay, well, we're going to give you this, we're going to give you this, we're going to give you that, we're going to give you this. Yeah, they're going to have a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But we know right now who wants to take over. We know who's lying in our faces. I mean, these people, they twist their own Bible in front of you. I don't even want to say it like that because they don't call it Bible. They call it the Quran. But I'm just saying, like, they twist it, and you're not supposed to do that. It says it right there. And it's like, well, you know what? That's not what it means. You need to respect. And then, okay. So, tell me what it means. No, you need a scholar. You need this. Also, in other words, I'm too stupid to understand what it's saying. So I needed a scholar. But then my grandfather was a very smart man. Not only did he did what his dad did, but did it here, did it there. His dad did it here and went over there. His dad did it here. Had to escape. His dad did it here. Went over there. Had a family, built something, came back here. His son came back here. Because there was still no borders. The borders wasn't really about, you know, you could look at it whatever you want to look at it, but you know history, just look it up for what they were made for. Came back here, went back, built a beautiful thing, make sure everything was good. So went back here, make sure a few people was fed over there, people was fed over here, people was fed over there, people was fed over here. So this is all what they try to raise. What I'm trying to say to my point to that is, when you're trying to raise somebody's history, somebody's blood that's everywhere, all my family's blood, sweat, hard work, and not just mine. I'm talking about millions. You know, they were debunked, and by 20 and 10 more years, you watch how technology will debunk how this land belonged, and we were not just thriving, but some of those buildings come from our hard working backs, not ours. I apologize. I'm sorry for even using your sweat, but our DNA, we know, you know, and it breaks my heart because it's like, oh yeah, whatever. It's like whatever, you know, whatever. No, it's not whatever. And like I said with the video with the lady, what I got from it was like, oh well, you know, don't worry about those parts right now. Focus on the love parts. Focus on that. But then, if it was to focus on those love parts, those are not even love stories, really. At least my Bible, when I was younger, I kind of understood that they were love stories. They didn't really know the meaning behind it, but it sounded beautiful. There's a difference for something sounding beautiful, something sounding horrific. When I was young and I liked the little girl, it was because of face. It had nothing to do with anything else. Just wanted to hang out and do some, you know, play games and maybe go to the park and let's hold hands and little stupid things like that. I believe I did not even really started thinking about anything till I was like 17. And I can't even say that it wasn't like it wasn't all in our faces, you know what I mean? But you had to like look for it. Back then you had like, they closed them down. This was a Muslim dude that had a store by us. I'm sure the other one does now. He even closed the door for when ICE tried to come and get him. But he had a store where if he knew you, he knew your family, you could buy cigarettes, you could do all these things. He had a little corner where he had all these books and a couple porns in the top with a couple porn DVDs, right? I'm saying all of this not because he was a bad person or anything like that, no. It was right there. But it was blocked. He had a cardboard and no touch if you're under 18, you know, it was all this stuff. So he was living a Western culture. He wasn't living the Muslim way. So when you listen to Muslims in this side of the thing, yeah, you might believe it, but don't forget the people that are suffering. Just because you're not suffering, remember, what makes you think that the people that follow the Quran the way you do, like, if you was to say, what's the biggest population and what's the number in the population that follows and believes in the Quran, like the pay that you follow it, the good, bad, evil, whatever you want to look at it, the ones that came out of your mouth and you said, no, they're not real Muslims. I need to find that video, bro, and I need to figure out how it was that. But yeah, she says, those are not real Muslims. And the guy from UK says to her, oh, why do they scream? Why do they scream for God before they blow themselves up? They're not real Muslims. They're not ours. Those people. Yeah, but those people are the ones that are blowing up kids on those sides just because they're Jewish. And what, we need 1 million women to be raped to consider it? Like, one rape, one little kid. The video I saw, bro, I was so lost when I saw a video of a 14-year-old buying a 7-year-old for $60. Now, 2025. And here's this lady talking about the Quran, and this kid is talking about how he's using the Quran to do that. So it has nothing to do with what you pretend that it is. It's what it says. See, if I follow the Bible, you don't have to worry about it. Because it will be one or two, maybe a little circle of bad people. I'm going to use myself. I'm not even going to use other people. That's the people you got to worry about. But when you have 1 million Muslims that believe in the Quran and that believe that that women should be, that unbelievers and Christians and Jews should be killed, that's a problem. And then when you start lying about our country, and then not just that, and then you're trying to take over the country and make it look like our ancestors don't matter, but you want your own country, you want your own place, you want your own this. They gave it to you. It's real. We saw it with our eyes. Could you imagine if the United States was to say, yes, you, okay, you Indians, we're going to stop calling y'all Mexicans. We're going to stop calling y'all Honduras. We're going to stop calling y'all Canadians. This is your continent. Let's work each other out. Let's work with each other. Let's put schools out there. Make these people smarter. Let's control that side of the continent. Let's control the other side of the continent. Let's grow. Let's make sure that there's no poor. There's no one that is poor. Let's protect our continent. Let's show Jesus that we can do something. But no, greed, violence. But see, we're not going to say all people, because it's not all people, because it'd be chaotic. But do you see what's happening over there with your own eyes? That's a problem. So when you're in denial, that's when it becomes a problem. Again, y'all have a good night, man. Or good morning, actually. Y'all probably gonna go to work soon. Just make sure you leave a subscribe button, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, you know what I'm saying? Talk to me. Tell me what y'all want to hear. Tell me anything that y'all want to talk about. I will be on later on tonight. I'm trying to get as many subscribers so I can go live. I can start interacting with you guys more. So get this viral, man. Let's go. This the real walkers. The ones that really, really want to fight for Jesus. The ones that really want to show the world that we can do this. Let's unite for Jesus. Because I'm telling you, remember, I will never forget the feeling when I was a young kid. And I always questioned myself, how do I know about Jesus? Because it was never like somebody put it in my head and kept putting it in my head. It just was there. But I apologize if I didn't give you enough contact on the 2 kids with the guy that said he was one Muslim again. 20 Christians from this school. But bro, you were wrong, man. That was a low blow. And then you miss it, and then you miss, and this is when I'm starting to see a lot of video of y'all lying. And see, I thought that, and see, this is where you say, when you deny and you fall asleep, oh, I ain't going to reach here because we got the strongest army in the world, and there's about 100 million, and we know that, you know, because it was funny, because back in the day, you know, you could joke around with the redneck, and he'd be like, yeah, you're a redneck. It was just joking around, like we used to be able to say things like, be like, come and see if we're going to take my wall. And like Fluffy, he's the one that, you know, I love when he talks about the guy. The guy's like, America. You know, that's what it was. It was the fear of the land, the underdog. You know what I'm saying? So let's all become this underdog. Let's not lose who we are. Let's show these people who we are, who run this world. We Americans do. This is our land. Come on in. Come on, my Indonesian Afro people. Come on, my Mexican people. Stop allowing people to call you Mexican. You're not Mexican. You an American Afro Aztec. You a Limpa. You. Hold on. Let me get that. Let me not misquote before y'all hit the comment and subscribe. But look. Let's see. Guatemala was the Chiches, the Quechua, the Quechua. We were an Afro-Indonesians, Inca, the Cree. This is Canada. The Cree, Anishinaabe. You know, you look at my Indonesian's Afro. This is my Afro people, Garifuna, right? Maya, Guatemala, Mexican. They just found Aztec. All of this. They were trying. It was funny because they were like, when I first was looking at it and I asked Google, it was like, oh, well, you know, no, they had nothing. I'm like, wait, what? None of these people were here. What are you talking about with this? And I started naming them. I understand you're upset and da-da-da. You correctly right on pointing out those things and you hit it right on the core. Like, you also got to know how to talk to YouTube because Google, because Google will give you some stupid answers. You got to know how to challenge those motherfuckers and challenge Google because Google will give you the watered down first thing. But yeah, I can, and what hurts me the most is that I can only reach so far to my ancestry. You know what I mean? Because they have not erased it, but it's been so much. But my Afro people were thriving, and this is historically proven, was New York, Bronx, New York, mainly was, this is today's words, New York, New Orleans, Angeles, and Washington. That's what we were humongous there. We had them thriving. Those places was thriving with us. And then you had the Guatemalan from Guatemala, Nicaragua, all those places. You hear the tribes, the Aztecs, the Maya, the Zapotec. You know, like I said not too long ago, the lidar technology just found a hidden pretty much entire, imagine finding a hidden New Orleans or Mississippi, a whole city under it. So again, you know, let's get our land back, bro. And you don't get your land back by arguing, by force. Usually like how they did. Use their brain. Use their laws. Because every human man law has they're not God. You know what I mean? Only God can judge us. Remember that. If you're gay, if you, whatever you are, whoever you are, you mean everything to this world. You're here for a reason. Remember that. So don't ever let anybody tell you that you are wrong. They can correct you and put out the things that you might be at that moment be not doing the correct thing, but again, your journey is with God. Humans will hurt you. We will hurt you. We will judge. We will do dumb things. But that's not everybody. People love to see other people be rich, be happy, be everything. But remember, this is our land. And when they start talking like that and they start making up lies about you, about your book, about your belief, it should anger you. So remember, Jesus comes first. What are you willing to do for that man? Willing to do anything. Love all y'all. Leave a comment, subscribe. Please. Get this viral, going viral. Appreciate it. We'll drop later on tonight. We'll drop another one. If you have something that you want me to talk about, please bring it up. I'll do my research. I'll bring you the stuff. So this is for y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'll bring y'all the knowledge, bring you everything that y'all need to know. And again, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment. Peace.